Hey there everybody, it's your favorite entrepreneur, Jeff Epps, and today we're talking about robotics and student achievement. Okay, let's get started. I want to start by defining robotics. But before I do that, let me state this. This is not robotics. This is not robotics. And this is not robotics. These are robots. They're technology. They're the T in STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Well, they are technology. And what they do is they make learning more interactive and more visual and more hands-on for students. And we need that nowadays. There are three core disciplines to robotics: coding, 3D modeling, and electronics. Now, coding, also known as computer programming, we've been doing this for years. We've been writing code to tell machines what to do. 3D modeling is all about shapes, spaces, distances, and quantities, where electronics is about distributing electricity. All right, so let's start with coding. Why is coding so important? Because what a lot of people don't know is that when students are writing code, they're writing instructions for a computer to follow. It's the same as reading and writing. Because when you look at a block of code, you're basically looking at foreign syntax. The same thing you do when you open up a book. And you're reading the syntax to gain comprehension and understand what the text or the story is about. So for example, when students write code, they are lining up subject and verb agreement. So if I said turtle.show, right? Turtle is my noun, show is my verb. Then I have that dot in between them, right? That's punctuation. Same thing we do when we're reading text in a book, or we're actually writing something on a piece of paper or typing something on a computer. Now, the next thing we look at is sequence, right? Because we have to have things happen in a certain order. The same thing happens when we're writing. We don't just jump to the end of a story. We have a sequence of events that leads up to the story. Well, the same thing happens with coding. And then there is logical thinking. If then, right? If this happens, then do this. Well, that happens with computers, but it also happens when we are reading or writing a story. So when students are writing code to make a robot move around the room or make a drone fly around the room, they're actually writing a digital story that a computer understands. And that's why coding sharpens reading and writing skills. Now let's talk about 3D modeling. Well, 3D modeling is about shapes, spaces, distances, and quantities. Because the interesting thing about life is that everything is created twice, right? The first creation is a mental creation. The second creation is some type of physical creation or digital creation, and then eventually possibly a physical creation. Now, with 3D modeling as well, we learned that the world is nothing more than a collection of shapes around us, right? That everything around us has derived or was derived from a basic shape. But we take basic shapes sometimes to create complex shapes. With 3D modeling also, we can size and resize objects. We can rotate objects. We can transform objects, which is a math term, which means how we're actually turning an object to view it. Now, all of this is math. And when we can take basic shapes and use them to visualize mathematical principles, wow, we start to see amazing achievement in the classroom. Finally, there's electronics. So with electronics, we're now talking about the distribution of electricity to some type of device or some type of motor or LED or something like that. And we usually do that by using a microprocessor now. And we write small blocks of code to tell this microprocessor how much electricity to distribute to a motor, to make it turn slow or fast, how much electricity to distribute to an LED light to make it shine very bright or very dim. But the other thing that electronics allows us to do is it allows us to teach our students attention to details, right? Because we have to, in order to distribute electricity, we kind of have to understand how to wire it. And in many cases, we know that the black wire is a ground, the red wire is actually our wire, our positive wire that distributes electricity, but both together create a circuit, an electrical circuit for electricity to be distributed.